Welcome to Endless Love Story, where every tale touches your soul. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-stirring stories that will stay with you forever. And please, watch till the very end. Trust me, every second of this journey is worth it. The rain drummed against the coffee shop window like a melancholy symphony, each drop carrying the weight of Marcus Chen's breaking heart. He stared at the empty chair across from him, his laptop screen glowing with the Skype call that had ended just moments ago. 5,000 miles had never felt so insurmountable. "I love you, but I can't do this anymore," Elena's voice still echoed in his mind, her tear-streaked face frozen in his memory like a photograph of Paradise Lost. Marcus was a documentary filmmaker who had spent 3 years capturing love stories around the world, yet he'd never expected to star in his own tragic romance. Elena Rodriguez, a brilliant marine biologist from Barcelona, had stumbled into his life during a chance encounter at a scientific conference in New York. What began as a casual conversation about ocean conservation had blossomed into something neither of them had planned for, a love so profound it defied logic. For 2 years, they had navigated the treacherous waters of long-distance love. Morning texts became evening calls, which became late-night video sessions where they'd fall asleep watching each other through their screens. Marcus had documented their relationship through his lens, creating a visual diary of stolen weekends in different cities, of airport goodbyes that felt like small deaths, of the joy that erupted when they finally held each other after months apart. But distance, like a patient predator, had finally claimed its victory. The coffee shop's bell chimed, jolting Marcus from his reverie. An elderly woman with kind eyes and silver hair sat at the neighboring table, her weathered hands wrapped around a steaming mug. She had been watching him, he realized, with the gentle concern of someone who recognized heartbreak. "Forgive an old woman's curiosity," she said softly, her accent carrying hints of European elegance, "but you look like someone who's lost something precious." Marcus managed a weak smile. "Something like that. May I?" She gestured to the empty chair across from him. When he nodded, she moved with surprising grace. "I'm Isabella. And you, my dear, are drowning in an ocean of regret." "Marcus," he replied, wondering why he felt compelled to talk to this stranger. "And yes, I suppose I am." Isabella's eyes sparkled with knowing wisdom. "Tell me about her." And so Marcus found himself pouring his heart out to this mysterious woman. He spoke of Elena's passion for protecting coral reefs, how her eyes lit up when she discussed her research, how she hummed Spanish lullabies while cooking, how she had this habit of tucking her hair behind her ear when she was concentrating. He told Isabella about the impossible choice Elena had been offered, a groundbreaking research position in the Maldives that would keep her away for 5 years, with no guarantee of return. "She said she couldn't ask me to wait," Marcus whispered. "She said it wasn't fair to either of us." Isabella listened with the patience of someone who had lived through many storms. When Marcus finished, she reached into her purse and pulled out a worn photograph. It showed a young woman with dark hair and bright eyes, standing beside a man in a naval uniform. "This was taken in 1962, Isabella said. "I was 22, madly in love with a man named Antonio. He was stationed in the Philippines, and I was studying literature in Rome. We had no Skype, no text messages, no emails. Just letters that took weeks to arrive and the occasional crackly phone call that cost a fortune." Marcus looked up, intrigued despite his pain. "Everyone said we were foolish," Isabella continued. That young love couldn't survive such distance. But we had something stronger than geography. We had faith. Faith in each other, faith in our love, and faith that somehow, someway, we would find each other again. What happened? Marcus asked, though he dreaded the answer. Isabella's smile was radiant. We've been married for 58 years. Antonio is waiting for me at home right now, probably burning dinner as we speak. Marcus stared at her in amazement. But how? How did you make it work? By understanding that love isn't about being in the same place, Isabella said, her voice filled with conviction. It's about being in the same heart. Distance is just a test, Marcus. The question is, are you willing to pass it? She stood up, leaving the photograph on the table. That research position in the Maldives, it's not a barrier. It's an opportunity. For both of you. I don't understand, Marcus said. Isabella smiled mysteriously. You're a filmmaker, aren't you? Someone who tells stories for a living? Well, my dear, it's time to stop documenting love stories and start creating your own masterpiece. As Isabella walked away, Marcus felt something shift inside him. He looked at the photograph again, studying the young couple's faces, seeing the same determination that had carried them through decades of challenges. Then he opened his laptop and began typing frantically. Within hours, Marcus had crafted a proposal that would change everything. He reached out to National Geographic, to the World Wildlife Fund, to every contact he'd made in his career. He proposed a 5-year documentary project about ocean conservation, centered around the groundbreaking research being conducted in the Maldives. He would need a scientific consultant, he explained, someone passionate and brilliant who could help audiences understand the critical importance of marine protection. The response was overwhelming. By the end of the week, he had not only secured funding but had been offered a position as the project's lead filmmaker. There was just one condition. He needed to assemble his team immediately. Marcus sat in his apartment, staring at his phone. Elena hadn't answered his calls since their breakup 3 days ago. His finger hovered over her contact, his heart hammering against his ribs. Finally, he pressed call. Marcus. Elena's voice was small, surprised. I thought we agreed. I have a job offer for you, he interrupted. Silence stretched between them like a bridge waiting to be crossed. Elena, are you there? What kind of job offer? She asked quietly. The kind that would let you save the world's oceans, Marcus said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. The kind that would make you the face of marine conservation for millions of people. The kind that would let us be together while you do the most important work of your life. He told her about the documentary project, about the funding, about the team he was assembling. He explained how her research would be the cornerstone of a 5-year series that could change how the world viewed ocean conservation. You're asking me to work with you? Elena's voice was barely a whisper. I'm asking you to let me follow your dream with you, Marcus replied. I'm asking you to let me document the most important story of our generation while the woman I love saves the planet, one coral reef at a time. The silence stretched so long that Marcus wondered if the call had dropped. Then he heard it, a soft sob that transformed into laughter. You beautiful, impossible man, Elena whispered. Do you know what you're asking? 5 years in remote locations, research vessels, diving equipment, storms, isolation. I'm asking for the chance to love you through all of it, Marcus said. "I'm asking for the chance to show the world what I see when I look at you. Someone who cares so deeply about this planet that she'd sacrifice everything to protect it. I'm asking for the chance to make our love story the greatest documentary ever told." Another silence, then Elena's voice, stronger now. "When do we start?" 3 months later, Marcus stood on the deck of a research vessel in the crystal-clear waters of the Maldives, his camera capturing Elena as she emerged from a dive, her face glowing with excitement behind her mask. The coral reef below them was a rainbow of life, and Elena had just discovered a new species of sea anemone that could hold the key to understanding coral resilience. "Did you get that?" Elena asked, pulling off her diving mask, her hair catching the golden light of the setting sun. "Every beautiful second," Marcus replied, lowering his camera and pulling her into his arms. As they kissed, surrounded by the endless blue of the ocean and the promise of 5 years of adventures ahead, Marcus thought about Isabella and her photograph. He thought about the power of faith, the courage to love without guarantees, and the magic that happens when two hearts refuse to let distance define their destiny. That night, as Elena fell asleep in his arms in their cabin, Marcus whispered a promise to the stars. "Thank you for showing me that love isn't about the miles between us. It's about the journey we choose to take together." Distance hadn't defeated their love. It had simply given them a bigger stage on which to write their story. And their story, Marcus knew, was just beginning. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in the power of love, and subscribe to Endless Love Story for more tales that prove love always finds a way. Remember, every great love story has its challenges, but the greatest ones are written by those brave enough to fight for what matters most. Until next time, keep believing in love.